You're listening to the Rich as a King podcast with certified financial planner Doug Goldstein. Episode 138.
Rich as a King.
If you are one of the 75 million baby boomers who is looking into retirement and thinking about moving, let me tell you a story that happened to me recently. Hi, I'm Doug Goldstein. I am the co-author with world chess champion Grandmaster Susan Polgar of the book Rich as a King, and I do the Rich as a King podcast in order to share some ideas from the book that we wrote and also some real life situations that happen that I see in my day-to-day job as a financial advisor. Recently, a couple came into the office, baby boomers. They're just getting ready to retire, and they told me their story. I won't go into the whole story, but I will tell you the two critical things that came up. One is that they had cleared up just about all of their debt, which is very good, and now they were planning to move into a pretty nice retirement home, and they needed to take on a mortgage. So the financial tool that baby boomers need to run from is debt. The strategy, of course, from this comes from chess, like everything we talk about here. You know, when chess players are becoming really good at chess, one of the things that they'll do is they'll practice the end game. In fact, I remember when I first introduced my daughter, who was kind of a chess champion in town, to Susan. Susan said, before they even started, she goes, "Oh, let me just set up the board and let's just do a little practice." And they played an endgame. Susan just put down a king for both sides and a couple of other pieces, and she wanted to see how Ayala was able to manage at the end of the game. And what she was looking for was to make sure that Ayala knew all of the final moves of a game. At the end game, it's not a time to come up with new strategies. It's not a time to take on risk. Everything should be mechanical. Great chess players and even pretty good chess players will often be able to see the end of a game and know right away whether one side is going to win or lose, because the assumption is that neither side is going to try something new or take on a big risk. Each person is just going to do what he knows how to do. Now, you might say, well, I'm hoping that the other guy is going to make a mistake. Fine, you can do that. Grandmasters don't play that way. If there's a clear advantage, then the one who's losing is going to resign. So how does this apply to taking a mortgage when you retire? Well, the main tactic that you have to take away from this is when you're in retirement, you need absolute control of your money, and the best way to do that is to pay cash for everything, including a property. This is not the time to take on a mortgage because any sort of debt implies some kind of risk. We don't have to look so far back in history to see in 2008 how many senior citizens and disabled people were kicked out of their homes because they had a mortgage and they couldn't afford to pay for it because rates went the wrong way and their income went the wrong way, and a lot of things that were out of their control ended up damaging their finances and they lost their home. Don't be one of those millions and millions of people who sets yourself up for potential failure. The opposite. Only buy a property that you can actually afford. If you can't afford to buy a property you want to live in, consider renting. There are a lot of great deals that people can get, depending on where in the country or where in the world they look, where they simply pay a monthly fee. And here's the call to action for today. This is what you need to do. Prepare your retirement budget and avoid debt. Debt cannot be part of it. You can't say, well, I'll pay for this on credit cards, or I'll do a home line of credit, or I'll borrow money to buy a property. Now it's time to take that off the table. No more debt. Time to balance your budget. If you have any questions or comments, please be in touch with me by going to richasaking.com and click on the Contact Us button. If you're listening to us on iTunes or Stitcher, please be sure to leave a 5-star review. My name is Doug Goldstein. Thanks so much for joining me.
You've been listening to the Rich as a King podcast, where we show you how the wisdom of chess can make you a grandmaster of investing. Be sure to get your copy of the first book ever that combines the strategic brilliance of a chess grandmaster with the financial skills of a certified financial planner. Susan Polgar and Doug Goldstein's book is available in bookstores, online, or at www.richasaking.com.
This show is designed to provide accurate and authoritative information in regard to the subject matter covered. It is offered with the understanding that neither the presenters nor the authors of Rich as a King nor their affiliates are rendering legal, tax, pension, financial, or other professional advice or services. If investment advice or other expert assistance is required, contact a competent licensed professional. For more information on how to improve your finances with the wisdom of chess, go to www.richasaking.com.